Where am I? Hello, welcome to Sheppard Pratt, the largest not-for-profit private institution of mental health. Welcome. Let me pull up your chart. How do I have a chart? I just got here. Wait, don't tell me. I'm a Towson student, so of course I know a little bit about Sheppard Pratt. Family studies major over here. Sheppard and Enoch Pratt is on 6501 North Charles Street, Baltimore City. I even know the zip code. 21204. Look at me, huh? Huh? The phone number is 410-983-3000. Sheppard Pratt was founded. Oh my God, can you let me do my job? Mr. Family Studies degree? Where's your dad? Why don't you family studies that? What? Why? Why would you? Listen, man, you just gotta let me do my job, okay? I'm here until 4. It's 2:15. I got a long way to go. Can you work with me here? Thank you. So let's reset. Let me tell you about Sheppard Pratt a little bit. I got it pulled up right here. Okay, you see I got the dual screen action. I got it pulled up on the right screen. So let me just give you the lowdown and then we'll make it work, okay? Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead, do your thing. So Sheppard Pratt was founded by Moses Sheppard. He was a Baltimore City merchant and he had a passion for social justice. He worked as a commissioner in the Baltimore City jail, and after he saw the mistreatment of the mentally ill, he wanted to do something about it. Eventually, Dorothy Dix came to him, who was a social warrior and a nurse. She was very accomplished in those two fields. She came to him and said, you should propose to Maryland legislation a way to fix the mental health issue, and he came up with a not-for-profit asylum where they had lush greenery, spacious rooms, recreational space, and a bunch of other things. Eventually he passed in, 1857, and he left his whole fortune, his entire fortune, to the building of Sheppard Pratt. After 34 years of construction, it finally opened up in 1891. The specific program that you are here for, detailed in your chart, you're at the Children and Adolescent Neuropsychiatric Unit, where we provide a safe space and crisis stabilization. Wait, hold up. I'm confused. Why am I here? What makes me eligible for this program? What are the qualifications? Well, generally, you're admitted here after extreme cases of aggression, whether at home or at school. Some things like trouble in school could also be indicators that you may need some help. But typically we see patients with some form of autism spectrum disorder or traumatic brain injury. It just... word, that's dope. So, that's really good. Okay, let's see what you're doing out here. So, typically, what's the age range for this program? I mean, it's child and adolescent. I certainly am not an adolescent, so what's the age range here? Yeah, also, typically we accept adolescents and children from ages 5 to 14. Well, obviously we must be confused here. I mean, obviously I am not a child nor an adolescent. This your mom's house. All right. You got me. Okay, keep going with you. Keep giving me the lowdown. Thank you. So let me pull up the website and some notes that I have, give you a little bit more information about the program that you'll be using, and then we'll just move on from there. So, this is an inpatient program. That means that you've been admitted into our care, and when we see fit, you'll be discharged. So since you are a family studies major, I can give you the lowdown a little bit more than I do for our regular patients. So we offer um, all levels of service, the primary level of service, which is just the general population, in an attempt to rectify social issues, which was our whole mission statement, right? That's how it all started with Moses. So we take the time and the effort and the care to make sure that mental health among all populations is an issue that shouldn't impede the daily lives of those who are affected by it. On the secondary level, that's people who are at risk. Now, to be eligible for this program, you need to be at risk of having these aggressive behaviors or these emotional outbursts. You need to be at risk for all different types of things. So conditions have to have been existing previously in order for you to be here in the first place. On the tertiary level, this is where we start to serve families who have already had things happen, which, as I just stated, to be here in the first place, something has to have already occurred. So as stated before, our services are geared towards providing you a safe environment while also managing and stabilizing crisis. So since you've already had a couple of situations occur, we're going to help you rehabilitate, get you back to a state of normality. And then once we go through all of that, we're going to start working into preventative measures where we make sure that we lower your chance of risk of those things happening again. And we'll also give you supports. We'll give you supportive services to make sure that everything stays in a nice, healthy level. So some things that we have you do, some services that we provide in this program to make sure that we hit those benchmarks and make sure that we give you those supports are applied behavioral analysis therapy, which is where you'll be with a therapist. We have a huge staff of therapists, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, all here, nurses and nurses practitioners, all here to make sure that we give you those supports, that we give you that safe environment, have a lower chance of risk for those things happening again, and we're going to give you those supports. So with this behavioral therapy, you'll be with a therapist, and you'll go over communication, social skills, punctuality, just all types of functional behaviors for society. We'll work on giving you tools and tricks to make sure we really cultivate those things and you can grow to be something else that we also provide here that's pretty nifty is a thorough speech and language therapy curriculum. So as I mentioned before, sometimes we get clients, patients with traumatic brain injuries. So with that, some communication skills may be lost. So we'll take the time and use this therapy session to rebuild those communication skills. We typically use these things with patients who have, again, autism spectrum disorder, intellectual disabilities, recovering from any injury, traumatic brain injuries or otherwise, dementia, extreme shyness, stuttering and stammering, hearing disorders and deafness, just hitting the broad spectrum of things that we can help. So we're going to make sure that if you need any medication, you're going to be on the right medication. So we're going to make sure that we give you some medication for some common mental health issues, if you have any, such as depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety. Medication is very important when it comes to treatment because it'll help us keep your the balances in your brain in check and make sure everything is going the way that we need it to be, so we can make sure we set you up for you to be discharged and be a functioning member of society and really just your best. One of the last things that we offer is occupational therapy, which is a type of therapy where we give you an occupation or just something to do. And through that, it'll become a meaningful activity that will soon translate into better progress and better, how should I put this? You'll get more meaningful results out of the therapy. So this can range from a bunch of things. A meaningful activity can be something as simple as just making sure you're showering consistently, all the way to holding down a full-time job. It really just depends on the situation and the person. Pratt, being a not-for-profit organization, means that any profit that is generated from the bountiful amount of services that are provided, not just with our children and adolescents neuropsychological program or psychiatric program, but all of our other services as well, all of those profits, instead of going into the pockets of the CEOs and all of the bigwigs of the company, it goes back into Sheppard Pratt in order to make it better, to make sure our standards of living are higher, to make sure our services are better provided, to make sure that our staff is top notch and that they are able to do the things they need to do as efficiently as possible. Whether that means giving them proper equipment, proper resources, just anything that they need at the time, we make sure we provide it to them because it's our job to help them so that they can help you. I see. Well, sounds well and good. Sounds like this is a pretty good program here you got going. Okay. I mean, from what I'm hearing, the only thing that sticks out in my mind is that it's kind of sucks that you have to wait until overly aggressive situation happens in order to be admitted. Maybe if there is some way you can bring a child or adolescent in when they show the signs of a larger issue happening, maybe just for a short therapy session or what have you. I haven't heard or I haven't seen on your website anything that would imply that that would be an option or that be the case. So I'm going to assume that that's not the case until I find otherwise. But I mean, other than that, it sounds pretty good. So according to Bronfenbrenner's model, it sounds like, to me, that since the child and adolescents are participating in the programs themselves, then it's primarily a microsystem kind of program servicing that. And since it also affects the family and the immediate members related to the child, then it may affect the mesosystem as well. And you can make an argument for the others, but it seems like it's primarily those things. But moving on from this, it sounds like there's a lot of effort placed in making sure that we manage the balance of risk and protection. So it sounds like to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like to me that there's a lot of stock put into making sure that the risk for these outbursts and aggressive behaviors are minimized while you raise the resilience through your services. I mean, all of this sounds great. Sounds like I should be out of here in no time, right? Oh, no. You're gonna be here forever.